What it is, boy. What it is, boy. What it is, boy. That's right. Your main man back after a very long time off of the tube. Just making my way to the Dollar Tree because, on the 4th, instead of doing barbecue, I decided to do Chinese food because it's been in fact, it's been so long since I made, the Chinese food that I'm trying to make. Like, I haven't made it this whole year. Yeah, I just heard a thunderclap. And see, that right there is exactly the reason why I had a mind to cook some barbecue, but I completely changed my mind because yeah, it's sunny, but it's kind of partly cloudy, and I'm looking at these clouds, and it is kind of sprinkling. It was kind of sprinkling yesterday, so I was like, nah, no, I'm good. Because like I said, it's been a long time since I made the kind of Chinese food I did make. About a couple of weeks ago, I made some lo mein and what else was it I made? It was like some fucking lo mein and fucking chicken teriyaki. That's all I can seem to remember that I made. Because I don't know if I pointed it out, but I'm somewhat of a cook. I'm not necessarily. See, this is one of the things that you find in Colorado. Sunflowers that actually stand up, because the heat out here isn't nearly as horrible as it is down south. You go down south and you find dandelions, you're going to find them slumped over because of that heat, because of that humidity. I mean, it's literally killing them, even when they're, watering them, giving them, it's that sweltering heat. Whereas out here, I mean, it's crazy because the grass literally is greener on the other side. I mean, you see this tree? You see these trees? I mean, they clearly have more chlorophyll in them. Well, I don't know if they have more or less, but the chlorophyll that these plants have clearly is darker. They have a darker coating of plant melanin, if you will, i.e. chlorophyll. Yeah, I don't know if y'all hear that, but yeah, it's rumbling in the sky. And like I said, that's exactly why I changed my whole plans as far as barbecuing. But yeah, I am somewhat of a cook. I don't claim to be a chef, and I cook different genres of cuisine from all around the world. And this year seems to be, usually in the summertime, like, I'm kind of renowned for doing this in the summertime, where I at least back in Memphis, and I kind of did it here a little bit, where I focus in on like genres of cuisine from Southeast Asia. But this year seems to be a little different, because it seems that focus is being set on China and India, which I find very interesting, because in my humble beginnings, if you will, when I was focusing in and zoning in on Thai and Vietnamese food, because it's a lot easier to make. I was always curious about how one even sets off to make, you know, cuisine as complicated as Indian and Chinese. And believe me, yes, it's very complicated. You really have to know what you're doing to make this stuff and make it right. Whether it's, you know, whether you're making wontons or whether you're making curry. Indian curry, that is, because Indian curry and Thai curry are literally two different beasts. At least they are to me. But, you know, since last year, I have made Indian curry several times, and this year, you know, after, you know, paying enough attention to the instructions, I successfully made this type of curry called korma. And to my bewilderment, it actually came out right. So there's that. So it kind of had me thinking that, you know, if this is some sort of Chinese and Indian summer, and it's funny I say that because that's an actual term, Indian summer is, or which, you know, the traditional meaning of an Indian summer is, you know, when you have very unseasonably warm weather, you know, in the fall and sometimes even in the winter, where it can be, you know, you can be dead in the middle of October, November, and it'll be like fucking 80 degrees somewhere. And like I said, as an what's the word I'm looking for? I believe the word's expat. As an let me just keep it layman's. As an ex-Memphian, I can, as an ex-Tennessean, I can definitely relate to that, and I can definitely declare myself officially as an ex-Tennessean because of this right here. And, you know, obviously for, you know, reasons to protect my identity, you know, as I am a ghost, you know, I covered my countenance, but yes, that's my official Colorado driver's license, and so that officially makes me a Denverite, a Coloradan. Officially now, because, you know, I've been a resident of this state for well over at least 2 years now, because, you know, the first year I came here, you know, I was still a Tennessean because, you know, it takes, you have to I don't know how it is for other states, but here you have to be within, you know, the residency, and, you know, basically, you know, be paying Colorado taxes for a whole year before, you know, you become, you know, a resident of the state. So now I'm a resident, you know, with, you know, a driver's license. But yeah, I honestly think this is going to be both a Chinese and Indian summer, in the regard that, you know, I've been brushing up somewhat on my Chinese as far as Mandarin, brushing up on my Chinese cooking, of course, and, you know, same with you know, acquiring certain skills from India, like, you know, several Indian languages that I've been learning for years and have gained little to no success, and as well as Indian cuisine, because back in Memphis, the crux of my focus when it came to foreign languages were languages from Southeast Asia. So, you know, that's, Oftentimes, in past videos, you'll hear me talk about like countries like Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, Indonesia, the Philippines, places like that. And I mean, reason being for that is because I'm very familiar with these places, even though I've never been there. Like I said, the crux of my studies were rooted in that region. It had me thinking that even though, well, let me rephrase that. I realized that long before I zoned in and just focused on those Southeast Asian languages, particularly the ones in what I call, mainland or not whatever Indochina, like whatever Indochina is supposed to be, because there's two different. I look at Southeast Asia as two subdivisions. There's Indochina, and then there's Maritime Southeast Asia. Maritime Southeast Asia are like all the island nations, like the Philippines, Malaysia, and Indonesia, and Borneo and Brunei, if you want to separate those from Indonesia. I'm pretty sure Borneo and Brunei are, that's another debate for another time. And then there's my main focus, which was what, for lack of better words, I'm just going to refer to as Indochina. And that being, again, Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos. Yeah, Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, and Burma or Myanmar. And don't get me wrong, since I've been out here, I've actually enhanced my skills in these languages, from Indochina, are actually, shooting through the roof in ways that I never even imagined could. Because, back in Memphis, I was just setting the foundation, but out here, it seems that I'm on the road to completion. And after completion, next step is mastery, where I can actually, claim bragging rights for being fluent in these languages that I spent some 12 odd years learning. And now, because I have better access to resources, I've actually stumbled across several books from India, and they're literally from India, as far as their languages. Because, like I said, back in Memphis, I had access to, certain things like, Tamil, Gujarati, Sinhala, what else? A little bit of Malayalam, a little bit. Hell, I even had a book on Sindhi. I had this little pamphlet on Marathi. But out here, since I've been out here, I've managed to acquire several readings, like textbook readings, which again is an amazement. It's amazing to me, and not just the languages that I just aforementioned, and of course Hindi and Bengali, of course. Those are easy enough to find. But languages that aren't so easy to find, in full text, like Oriya and Assamese, like from the Assam region in the northern part of India. Yeah, a place like Assam, that's the real Indochina for your ass there, because it's basically, you go to those parts of North India, and even places like Bhutan, I dare say Nepal, like hell, that's the real Indochina for your ass, where you have a collage and a mixture of Chinese and Indian culture, within these countries, like in places like the Assam region of India, or also known as like